Hello everyone, Brady here from the Brady Brown channel. Welcome to another video. So this past weekend I was gonna do a vlog. Me and my dad went out to Lake Kuya. It was cold, very cold. Uh, but some things ended up happening. We got there. First off, my GoPro. Forgot the SD card in the truck, and I was already in the jet ski. Forgot that. But also my dad's jet ski was dead. So we ended up staying out there for a long, maybe 30 minutes. The only footage I got being out there was a couple pictures, and I shot some drone footage while I was out there just in case I would like to use it in any future videos. But instead, we are going back to an old series that I did a long time ago. I haven't done an episode, goodness, since I think Battlefield 2042 came out, I think. So, to kick off another episode of this series, Brady's Opinions, is actually, I think, the first series that was out on the channel. The very first video was a Brady Opinion. I believe it was on Modern Warfare 1 at the time, or Battlefield 5. I can't remember exactly which one. But it was one of those. It was back in 2019. I know that. So, good old 5 years ago, just about. But yeah, today we're back with another game similar to the Battlefield series that is Delta Force. Delta Force is available on PC only. It's on Epic Games, Windows Store, and Steam. So it's been out for a little bit. The technical test has been out for a little bit, so you might have seen some footage of that. The open beta has been or open beta slash I think it's like an early release style kind of beta. It's been out since the 4th, but the closed test has been out for about a few months now. I actually played a little bit of the closed test. I bought access into it, and I was playing it for a little bit. This game is made by Team Jade, that is the developer. It is a developer out of Shanghai, China, I believe. Currently, at the time that I checked, so that was later in the day, there was about 74,600 players on the game, on Steam at least. Currently, it sits at about 14,565 mixed reviews on Steam. Well, total reviews is 14,565, with it averaging about at a 6 out of 10. It's mixed reviews. Some of the complaints that are coming from it on those reviews are low frame rate, so optimization problems, vehicle balance. Some, believe it or not, are talking about sweats. And a main concern and complaints that are coming from it, even on some of the blog posts that they post on the community hub on Steam, are the kernel anti-cheat. This one specifically is called Ace. It's made by Tencent, which is a Chinese company that you may know has acquired a bunch of American studios, and including Epic Games and I think majority stake in Riot Games as well. So some issues that people are complaining about is with that anti-cheat comes some issues and possible spyware. But the way this anti-cheat runs is very similar to Valorant's anti-cheat or Riot's anti-cheat, which also is obviously, Riot being owned by Tencent, is obviously they're going to be similar, judging by this Ace anti-cheat is going to probably run the same thing if it's made by Tencent. So, that's not surprising. Do I have any suspicions that it is a spyware? No. I looked at a few Reddit posts and has done some reviews, and it does not look like it's a spyware, judging by not only what I'm saying, but what other people are saying as well. Some people are saying that it runs in the background even when the game's not running. I've not noticed that. You can see on Task Manager what's running in the background. Nothing that has to do with the kernel anti-cheat is running in the background during uh, any other time besides when the game is running. Overall, for the game, I really enjoy it, honestly. There's some times where it gets frustrating, but that's with any game. But this is the frustrating parts don't come more than any other game. Uh, some of them include teammates, which that is bound to happen, and others include just crappy moments that happen. So things that are bound to come with video games. That's really the only active complaints I have. I've had so to touch on the optimization. I have had no problems, no hardware issues with the game. I've had no crashes, believe it or not. I have had no laggy, no frame rate issues. But I will take into note my specs, which is on the higher end. I have a 3080 Ti with the i9 12900K series as CPU Intel, so I do have higher end, but I have had no problems. But Rodwin, who has a little bit lower end, not lower end, but lower than mine, he's also said that this game actually runs surprisingly well and smooth, especially compared to Battlefield 2042. So that's a good note to add. By the way, the graphics look amazing. They're easily comparable to the Frostbite engine's graphics, and it's optimized well. That's the thing, is that the graphics are good and the game is optimized, at least for me. I've had no issues. Cheaters. I've had no run-in with blatant cheaters. Sure, there could have been cheaters that weren't so blatant, but in my almost 10 hours of gameplay now, I've had no run-in with cheaters where I have actively been like, this person's cheating. That was another thing that people were commenting about on the game's reviews, was that there was a lot of cheaters. I've played 10 hours and I've not dealt with a cheater. So yeah, the anti-cheat seems to be working, and they just made a blog post, I think 2 days ago, regarding accounts that they have banned for cheating. So there are cheaters, but I have not run into them. Seems like the anti-cheat's working. And I also made a note. This note is that, so with the anti-cheat and how it runs and how it works, people complain about this one, right? But they don't complain about Riot's anti-cheat, which does the same exact thing. It's probably made by the same exact company. It's made by Tencent in some way, shape, or form, because Tencent does own a part of Riot. So if it's Riot's anti-cheat, it's still kind of Tencent's. This one is Ace, called Ace, made by Tencent. So obviously there is some similarities between who makes it, and they do pretty much the same exact thing when it comes to actively detecting any third-party softwares while you're playing the game. So I don't understand why people will complain about this one but not complain about Valorant's, even though they're pretty much the same thing in the sense of how they enforce or how they catch third-party software. So that's up to them, but that's what I wanted to make note of to you guys and let you guys know. So the gameplay in this game is, there's 3 different game modes out right now. There is a Battlefield style game mode called Warfare. There's 2 game modes within that. That is attack/defend, like different hills or different points, called Breakthrough. It's called sorry, not Breakthrough. It's called King of the Hill. It is similar to Battlefield's Conquest mode. And then there's an attack/defend called Breakthrough, which is kind of similar to what's it called? Battlefield's mode. What's it called? I think it actually is called Breakfield in Battlefield. It's very similar to the mode where you have your defenders, you have your attackers, and you gotta like push through cap both points. Once you cap both points, you got that sector. You move on to the next. So it's a very similar kind of rush style game mode towards like Battlefield. So those are like Battlefield, the warfare game mode. Then you got the operations game mode, which is similar to as Tarkov or DMZ in Warzone. And then the last one, you got a campaigns game mode, which is the classic Black Hawk Down remastered. And I believe they're releasing co-op soon for that as well, which that doesn't sound too bad. If they haven't already. So some things that I also made note is the TTK, time to kill. It's very similar to Battlefield 2042, and other than that, the gameplay itself is comparable to Battlefield 3/4. For the Warfare game mode, which is the Battlefield style game mode, there is 4 maps out right now: Cracked, Ascension, Threshold, which is new one, Shafted, new one, and Trench Lines, which is a new one. I also want to make note that this is an operators style game game where you have your class-based system like Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. You have your assault, medic, engineer, and recon, but within those classes are the operators. So I believe this is exactly how Battlefield 24 should have done it. 42, sorry, not 24. 42 should have done it, but they didn't. So you have 2 engineers, 2 assaults, 2 medics, and 2 recons out right now, operators-wise. They have their own special abilities, but, for example, medics are going to be able to pick up teammates faster. Squad mates can pick up other squad mates. Medics can pick up squad mates and teammates faster. Assault, you got your running speed, and you can slide. Engineer, you got your anti-tank / anti-air. And recon, you got your spawn beacon. That's kind of and getting information through kind of wall hacks, like flare guns. So with that, also you got your firearms, many different types of weapons and customization. I think there's maybe over 20 guns in the game right now, and a lot of different customization options for them. Also in the game right now is 7 different vehicles. You got a battle tank, a tank destroyer, an assault helicopter, a ATV, infantry fighting vehicle, an AA, an assault vehicle, and also, sorry, I forgot to, it doesn't have it on here. So you got 8 vehicles. You got a recon helicopter in there as well. So a Little Bird and an Apache style helicopter. So a lot of different options. Definitely a game that has to be easily compared to Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, with the mix of Battlefield 2042 style gameplay in there as well. So, excuse me, I only have maybe 2 complaints about the game, especially the Warfare game mode that I've really mainly played. That is, 1, I would like to see extended spawn borders. I feel like they need to be adjusted to prevent spawn trapping. It's kind of similar to Battlefield 4's type of spawn, because Battlefield 3, that's what it feels like right now. It's easy to spawn camp. It's easy to kill vehicles straight when they spawn in. It's easy to kill people in their spawn. I feel like Battlefield 4 did a really good job at kind of tucking away spawns and preventing some kind of spawn traps. They also, in order to prevent air spawn traps, they put automatic turrets controlled by AI. I feel that that's also needed as well. Another thing I'd like to see is more maps. I mean, considering the game's open beta just started only, 6 days ago. There's only 4 maps out right now, I think. Right? Is that what it is? Excuse me. There's only 5 maps out right now. So I'd like to see more maps. That would be in the near future, but, that'll take time. but it kind of sucks having only 5 maps out from the beginning because gameplay does kind of get a little boring after a couple hours when you play through the maps multiple times. Other than that, the ability to create and remove or just be in your own squad with maybe your friends or just like one other friend, such as duos, would be nice. Right now, you're put automatically into a squad, but I feel like that when I'm trying to do something with, uh, a friend that's like in a Discord call, and one of your squad mates hops in the vehicle, kind of sucks. So I would like to see some kind of creating your own squad. That would be nice. And there's a couple little things that I'd like to see added, but not on the top of my mind right now. But that's really the only things that I have really complaints about or would like to see changed. There's a couple tweaks here and there, um, but other than that, the game's pretty. It's a pretty solid game at launch. Unlike most games, this is a pretty solid game at launch. And I think what helped was the technical test, having that tested, and it's pretty solid. The TTK, the time to kill, will take time to get used to for most people. But other than that, it's a pretty good game. So, honestly, reviewing the dislike reviews, a lot of people who play Battlefield 2042 are the ones who are putting not recommended for the game. So, I think as a person who, at least like myself, who really enjoys Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, I feel like this is a good thing that the people who play 2042 are saying it's a bad game because they enjoy Battlefield 2042 for a reason. If you enjoy Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, you'll like this game more. Okay. This is more like 3 and 4. It's not really like 2042 besides the TTK maybe and the graphics. So, this game is kind of like a response, I feel like, because EA didn't give the players the game they wanted. So Team Jade over in China gave it to them instead. That's genuinely how it happens. Just like with anything manufactured in the United States, you don't give the American people what they wanted, they'll get it manufactured in China. Perfect example, even for video games. Team Jade has gave us a class-based FPS on a large-scale map with different types of vehicle. It's a perfect Battlefield mixture. There does need to be some tweaks with the vehicles. Some of the vehicles are pretty solidly overpowered, I'd say. I don't really like how the helicopters fly. I wish they. It seems like they're stuck on an X and Y axis. They don't really have like freedom to fly. It feels like because it the flying model is a lot easier than Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, which I don't like because I like to have some freedom in the movement of the helicopter, and it doesn't quite give that to you. Unlike games like Battlefield, or if you've played Arma, where you have a lot of freedom to adjust the helicopter pitch, roll, etc. and so forth. This one doesn't quite. It's very arcadey style flying. More like Ace Combat, to be honest. So, even with the reviews, it has, judging by the player base count, this will be a successful game, in my opinion. Unlike other copies or smaller games trying to take down the bigger game like Call of Duty, X Defiant. As we know now, X Defiant Studios closed, Ubisoft San Francisco closed. X Defiant, as a game, will be closing its doors, or closing its servers, I should say. So, I think this will be a successful competition to Battlefield, just in time when they're working on the next Battlefield title that I believe is Battlefield 6. So hopefully this will wake EA and DICE up for them to produce an actual good video game in next time, or this coming time, I should say. I believe next year is when the plan releases. I don't know. We'll see. Probably not. Probably 2026. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button. Subscribe and turn notifications on so you know when the next video or live stream is out. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Take it easy.